Okay, good. So we are going to be covering my game against Shaun Willenberg from the Cape of Good Center. Um, the game was a first round game from the Cape of Good Hope. I was white. I played d4, knight f6, went for g6, knight reposition for d6, king's Indian. And I've been working on this system, the Petrosian system, for a while, and that's what I use being my main weapon. That and g3, the g3 system. But I thought I'd use the Petrosian system at this occasion. I love this move, knight d2. It was up knight h5 for a while, and black's counterplay is held up long enough for white's counterplay to just bite. Knight c5, hitting on e4. A castle, g5, bishop g2. Now, here's where the beauty of this move. He's threatening f5, f4, trapping my bishop, but he's yet to move his knight back. So, after my next move, he has to bring his knight back to h5, which will cost him 3 moves to f4. To execute something you would have been able to execute in one move. So you sort of see the value of knight d2. Okay, b3 prepares b4 via a3, b4, either rook b1 first, I don't know, whichever is more appropriate. f5, f3. The knight comes back with a loss of tempo. a3. As you can see, I get to bite first before he does. I hope bishop f2 might have been probably correct. These positions tends to be more important to get your attack in first than certain static factors. So that's why I went for b4 first. Okay, as you can see, I think I'm making more progress before his kingside attack arrives. Now he has to respond to what I'm doing on the queen side, which is what I've been aiming for. So you could say sort of like first part is accomplished. Now I have to start exploiting the weaknesses on the queen side. Okay, so this I don't think is a very good move. The idea that black should be playing with is I want my queen to the queen side, so he should not be really helping me do that. Somehow I should probably perhaps knight to g4. I'm not sure. Anyway, this I didn't think was a good move. Anyway, I judged that I had the winning position at this point. I have a blocked center, and the play is on the wings. There aren't any weak points on my king side, but the pawn on b7 is very weak. The squares on the queen side are very weak in black's camp. My king is fairly secure since I have not pushed the pawns in front of it, but black's king is a bit exposed. My pieces are more mobile and I have the initiative. I also command a bit more space. The one last thing is that I have superior minor pieces, and the bishop on f2 holds up the g1 a7 diagonal, which would be a nightmare for black. One last thing is that the c file is in my control, and which will be an avenue which I can use to put my pieces onto the king side, via the 7th rank. So queen d3 was welcome, and he played rook fd8 because d6 is entry. Rook fb1. The idea is to play knight c4, but I can't play it directly because the knight will be taken by the queen. So first I support the knight. My idea here is actually to trap the queen. You can see the queen has got a few squares in this particular position. I think right now he's got this square and that square only, and obviously where he is. So if I were to hit him with knight c4, you can see that these two squares would not be available. We would only have this square. So things are becoming a bit difficult for black. So he plays, and also and interesting is this move now also has got the rook has got direct access to that pawn. So it's a few things that black has to deal with now. So he plays rook b8, giving support to the pawn. Knight c4, queen a6, rook b4. The idea now is to, if perhaps I can play the queen here and the rook here, the queen will be trapped. That's one. Or the knight here, and then the rook here, and then the rook here, and then the queen will be trapped. So you really sort of see the value of his next move. Knight there, keeping an eye on d6, which is, you know, like one piece I have attack on with double piece, and at the same time defending on c7. Knight b6 with the idea of playing now my rook to a4. Here black bishop. The idea is that if I play rook a4, then no, cancel. If I play my rook to a4, then his queen can take on b5 because the knight will be under protected. So brilliant move. I really like this move. The idea is that if I don't play a move which covers the c file, black will take on b5, and after either queen capture or rook capture, you'll be able to play his knight to c7. So I have to keep an eye on those threats. So rook c makes it impossible for him to play knight c7. Now here's a bit of a dilemma. You really can't play either rook to c8 without conceding either his queen or one of his pieces. So he is to look for waiting moves. Now here black is in partial zoom zone, so I decided to improve my position and figure out what would be the best plan. I have a couple of ideas here. I could perhaps bring my queen here onto b3, perhaps put pressure in this sort of line, but I didn't see anything concrete. And then it dawned on me that whenever a person, I don't have to win the queen, but utilizing the fact that his pieces are tied up, I can transfer my troops to the king side where he is not prepared to defend. And I didn't think he really anticipated this particular maneuver or plan. So I played queen d3, luring him to the queen side. He played king g8. I played h3, opening a luft for my king, so that, you know, if I start attacking on the king side, you won't really have anything on the back rank. Played king h8, and then queen f3, attacking the bishop. Now I start a process whereby I really start, you know, bringing all my pieces to the king side to participate here. You can just imagine, it's so easy, it looks easy, the way things just suddenly fall on black's position. King g7, knight c7, invading on the 7th rank. Now it's a beautiful plan here. Takes with a check, comes with a check. You can't really defend with the rook here. So bishop, just brilliant. Rook. Now I don't see how you can really handle the planned rook f7 here. Yeah, in this particular case, black's position just collapses. Anyway, thank you for following me on this video. First of my videos. I hope I will improve on them soon. Okay, bye.